There are different types of user interface design, each with its own characteristics and purposes, and here are some of them. 1. Flat design. This design style features minimal use of gradients and shadows, also with textures, resulting in a clean and simple interface. It often uses bright colors, bold typography, and simple shapes to create a visually appealing and user-friendly interface. Let's take a look at an example. One example of a flat design is the user interface of Windows 10 operating system. Windows 10 uses a flat design approach that features a simple and clean design with bright colors, minimal use of gradients and shadows, and emphasis on typography and iconography. The interface is easy to navigate and uses simple shapes and lines to create a clear hierarchy of information. This design style is popular in modern web and mobile app design as it focuses on clarity, simplicity, and user friendliness. Let's take a look at the second one. Material design. This design style was developed by Google and is based on the principles of material design, which focuses on realistic lighting and shadows, depth and motion. It often uses bold colors, iconography, and typography to create a modern and intuitive interface. Let's see an example. An example of this would be the Google Drive. Now, you'd like to know that material design is a design language developed by Google that combines principles of classic design with modern technology. One example of a material design can be found in the Google Drive web application. The Google Drive interface uses material design principles such as flat and minimalistic design, bold use of colors, and layered user interfaces. The design also features clear typography, simple and intuitive navigation, and a consistent use of iconography. The interface also makes use of animations and transitions to provide users with feedback on their actions. In summary, material design is focused on creating a clean and intuitive interface that prioritizes user experience and can be found in many other products by Google, such as Gmail, Google Maps, and Google Calendar. Let's take a look at the third one. Skeuomorphic design. This design style mimics the appearance of real-world objects and textures, often using realistic imagery and detailed shading to create a sense of depth and texture. It can create highly realistic and immersive user experience. Let's see an example. Skeuomorphic design is a style that uses realistic visual cues to represent digital elements. An example of this kind of design can be found in the Apple iOS operating system prior to iOS 7. The older versions of iOS featured many app icons and user interface elements that were designed to mimic real-world objects, such as a notepad, calculator, and even a leather-bound calendar. The app icons had textures and gradients that made them appear to be made of physical materials such as wood, metal, or glass. The user interface also included drop shadows, gradients, and other visual cues that mimicked real-world objects. Skeuomorphic design aims to create sense of familiarity and make digital interfaces more relatable to users by mimicking physical objects that are already familiar with. However, This design style has fallen out of favor in recent years in favor of flatter, more minimalistic designs that prioritize clarity and simplicity. Let's take a look at other examples. Other types would be responsive design. Now, in responsive design, this design approach involves creating interfaces that adapt to different screen sizes and devices, ensuring that the interface is optimized for use on desktops, tablets, and mobile devices. Next is adaptive design. This design approach involves creating interfaces that adapt to user behavior, preferences, and context. It also uses data and analytics to personalize the interface and create a more tailored user experience. Minimalistic design is next. This design style focuses on simplicity and minimalism, often using a monochromatic color scheme, minimal typography, and simple shapes to create a clean and uncluttered interface. The last and not the least is conversational design. This design approach involves creating interfaces that use natural language and conversation to interact with users, often using chatbots or voice assistants. It can create a more conversational and human-like user experience. Each type of user interface design has its own strengths and weaknesses, and the best approach will depend on the goals, context, and user needs of the product or service being designed. A skilled designer will choose the most suitable type of user interface design based on a thorough understanding of the user and their needs. I'll see you soon in the next lesson.